pointed. They wanted the windmill.
Yeah, but you know that Rick Carlisle's out there going, that's very sensible.
Yeah, that's what that's what all the coaches went through. That's what Larry Brown. That's what Larry Brown wanted.
I respect him because look at the score. You don't want to show out.
That's not true.
The score.
That's the tone.
Big resourcefulness. Next, check out this nifty tip pass.
Chioza.
So we found a comp, Richard.
Oh, yes.
With Jason Kidd
Watch this pass by Jay Kidd.
2003.
Woo! Speaking of Lucius Harris, there's my guy. You wasn't going to get that pass,
All right,
Lucius.
so which was the better Nets combo pass at Madison Square
Well, let me
Garden?
say this. The pass was better by Jason Kidd. The player that caught the pass was better.
I mean,
Kevin Durant.
you didn't need to on a national television show to say that.
You saw which one? Who was the better player there?
The better. See, that's a great by Chioza because look at that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I give him that.
Let's look at that. You
I think it
can't
was a
beat that.
mistake, though.
But Jason Kidd would hook
Jason
you up
Kidd.
every day.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way.
Love Jason.
Yeah, he's got the second most assists in NBA history and the most to me in his individual career. Just
Richard
saying.
Jefferson history.
Gotta have it. Gotta tell my kids.
Miscommunication. Bucks Pistons. Giannis gets it on the wing.
Oh, why would you
The
run him
paint
off?
just opens up. I believe that would qualify as a defensive breakdown, Robert.
Yeah, that's posterizing. Guys like, that's James Harden. I mean, that's defense that nobody wants to play. They're just trying to get on the other end, shoot some threes right there. You got to play some type of defense.
No, but come on. Let's not talk about those four. Let's talk about Blake. Blake, what are you doing running Giannis off the line?
I know it. Stop.
Come on. He took off where he was about to shoot from. Wait, what? Come on.
It's like, all right, you're moving. I'm going for it.
Yeah, Blake can't look at the other four
As
guys
a coach,
like, what are you
call
doing?
a timeout, and I'm yelling at everybody.
Everybody. What would Pop have done?
Pop would have taken everybody out. Pop, y'all go to the locker room and take a shower.
Out.
Big elevation, airplane mode activated. Derrick Jones Jr. getting up for 2 huge slams against the Kings. Richard, is he the bounciest player in the league?
Ooh, look, when you win dunk contests and your nickname is airplane mode, look, he's looking down in the rim. Yeah, I would say he's up there. I don't want to give him number 1, but he's definitely top 2.
Yeah, he's top 3. I'll give him top 3.
Yeah, he's top 2 and he ain't number 2. Let's just say it that
dunk
way.
contestants probably say, hey, I still got hops.
Yeah, shout out my guy Aaron Gordon.
I was going to say a controversial dunk contest winner, so, you know, there you go.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine.
Look at that from half court, too.
All right, guys. Lakers ending up beating the Thunder by 29 points. Let's have a little chat about that. 6 Lakers scoring double digits. Now, after the game, LeBron asked about the Harden and Nets trade, and here is what he said.
I don't really have too much of a reaction. Obviously trades and things happen every year. And, for me, my main focus on what we do here and how we continue to get better. And that was the case today. The trades happened today, and I couldn't allow myself to kind of indulge in that, knowing that we had a team that we had to play tonight. So my main focus today was on the Thunder.
Well, LeBron doesn't want to look ahead, but we sure as hell do. Richard, which team is better on paper? On paper, obviously, the Nets or the Lakers?
Oh, the Lakers, you don't disrespect the champion. The Lakers are the best team in the NBA. They were last year and they are this year. That team on the right has a lot of work to do as far as building the chemistry to get to a championship. It's never just...
That's why I said on paper.
I know on paper, but we can't even just...
On paper, on the floor, Lakers by far. Because if you look at that team, LeBron's going to have an off night to play defense. That's going to make him that much better if those are the lineups. So there's no way the Nets can even contend with the Lakers. Their bench is not there. Their starters are not there. Not taken away from their big three. But if you look at that Lakers squad, they got some skill. They got a skill set like with the additions they just had.
And real quick, let's talk about the Nets. If Kyrie comes back 100% healthy, James Harden gets in championship condition, right? Everything starts rolling for the Nets. They are a huge problem. Now, there's a lot more ifs. The Lakers already are a problem. They are the champion. They are the team that's favored to win the championship. So when you look at which team has more work to do to get to peak championship form, it's the Nets. And so, even on paper, I think there's a lot more for the Nets. But boy, I love that roster right now. I like what they have. I like the stars. It makes it fun to watch basketball.
Is that really a roster yet, though?
Well, it's a roster.
It's a roster.
We'll see if it's a team.
But like I said, it's paper.
They still, the Nets still have some cap room to, bring in some I don't know, whoever. No, not me. I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing out there.
Follow up on your LeBron defensive point and sort of the larger point we've been talking about defense on the Nets side. I'm looking at our ESPN stats and info group, and they're saying that LeBron James allowed opponents to shoot just 30% when he's the contesting defender, which is by far the best in the NBA so far this season. So if you are looking at sort of, was LeBron's defense going to drop back off a little bit this season after he made such a concerted effort last year? Is he setting the same tone in the regular season now after such a short offseason? Numerically, the answer so far is yes. So we'll have to see in the hypothetical finals between those two teams.
Numerically, he wasn't guarding KD, James Harden, and Kyrie on one possession.
That's why he has KCP, AD,
Tell
other guys. So you don't have to play. Yeah.
Up next, we will welcome in longtime Rockets reporter, our quote, very excited to return to the team after his mysterious absence. But honestly, none of that addresses what is going to be the real issue going forward. Is Kyrie going to be okay with essentially being the third option in Brooklyn behind two former MVPs? We know part of why Kyrie asked out of Cleveland was because he didn't want to continue shaping either his game or his standing on the team around LeBron anymore. We know there were issues coexisting with teammates in Boston. We know that in other recent big threes, guys like Kevin Love, Chris Bosh have had some trouble adjusting to that third role. And these two guys, well, they're at least notoriously mellow. At least Kyrie plays a different position. He will have the ball in his hands more. Maybe Ray Allen and Boston is a better comparison. Although clearly, it is something to watch, as is how this Nets team looks on the defensive end. With Jared Allen out the door, the Nets no longer have anyone who you would call a defensive standout. In fact, 5 of the Nets' key rotation players had a negative defensive real plus-minus last season. That's a lot. Still, all Brooklyn really needs is a functional level of team defense, something KD and Kyrie, and yes, at times, yes, even James, have shown to be capable of. So if they want to play hard on that end, they can. Also, let's be honest, there's going to be plenty of nights, at least in the regular season, they won't have to. In a year where there is no plan to hold an actual all-star game, Brooklyn should have plenty of that vibe nightly. At their best, we could see a 3-ring circus of death-defying feats of basketball brilliance. Will it be enough to threaten the defending champion Lakers at the very top of the NBA pyramid? We'll have to see. Will it be enough to cause an arms race in the East with the Bucks, Sixers, Heat, or Celtics now trying to pull off their own big trades? We will see. Will it be
and playing well? The difference between this three and let's say the big three that Golden State had with Kevin Durant, those guys were all ball movers and shooters, right? Klay Thompson was moving off screens. Klay was moving off screen. The 3 of these guys are all ball handlers.
I'm still looking at this team like, who's going to take over? Because when you look at James Harden, he gets his rhythm by playing with the rock. KD playing with the rock. Kyrie playing with the rock. So that is going to be trouble because they're not shooters like Steph and Klay who can come out and shoot the ball. So this big 3 is a little bit worrisome for me because they all playing with the rock. And now, who's going to play defense? Who's going to come off the bench? They gave away a lot to get this guy. And now they have nothing because at the end of the day, you need what people like to call the others, the bench, to step up. They have no bench. They have nobody to step up. So I'm looking at the 3 J's, Jeff, Jordan, and other guy, the shooter, to come off.
Joe Harris.
Joe Harris, to shoot the ball and play. They gotta step up. And we know Jordan is old. We don't know how he's gonna step up. So I know how it is when you get up in age and still trying to compete.
Yeah, we both do. But the crazy thing is, too, is when you look at it, obviously there's questions about Kyrie, what his situation is. And then James Harden is obviously not in the championship shape that he has been the last few years. And when
that gets fixed over the course of the season.
But this is my thing. Like, look at this picture here. This was James Harden going into the bubble. People were talking about how amazing shape he was. Now he overjumped this shape and went to the next position. So he went from super skinny to and
this
he did
is him now.
and he did this in about a 3-month span. So that some of that is probably unhappy and he's not wanting to be there. And we're just not going to allude to other things. But to win a championship and we're talking about winning championships, you got to be.
Body shaming on this show, Richard.
It's not body shape. I'm saying he's unhappy.
He's unhappy. I think
come on.
Fine. You look at his body and you look at
same thing with Jokic last year. Jokic wasn't in great shape. He got in great shape. They went to a conference final.
Okay, so you guys have both been in versions of this kind of situation. You played on a team, right, with Vince Carter, with Jay Kidd. Robert, I can name several teams that you played in, several locker rooms with big personalities, big, huge stars. How does it sort itself out? How does that work over the course of a season?
You have to have someone that's not one of the big three who's willing to step up and say, hey, guys, it ain't about you three. It's about us as a team. I want to win a championship just as bad as you guys. Just because you're making the most money, you're getting the most notoriety, I'm still on this team. I'm looking at Jeff Green to be that guy.